We need your help, but if the answer is no, I understand.
Nolan stole my life, my trust, my sanity. And now he's going to steal you too.
This isn't about him, Mom. You've got a chance to stop the Viltrumites for good. No, there's no way.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Stand ready for his re-arrival, worms, because Invincible just released another Season 4, Episode 5 trailer confirming a couple big theories that we had about what's going on in the episode and how they're pacing things out to the story, so we will break it all down. There's going to be a lot of really messed up stuff happening in the next couple of episodes. Generally, it seems like the more Mark is suffering, the happier fans are, and he is definitely going to suffer in the next couple of episodes. And even though it's not part of the episode, there was a big controversy the last couple of days about Omni-Man's costume being blue in the comics and not white. Ryan Ottley, the artist behind the comic book, clarified that he always drew it to be blue, not white, and on the show they just made it white because they wanted it to be white. And in the process, he stomped out a lot of fan theories about the deeper meanings of the colors of Invincible and Omni-Man's costumes. You could probably do a whole extra video just on that. I don't plan to do that, but it was a really interesting thing that just happened completely separate from the actual episodes the last couple of weeks. Since there's so much new footage here, we'll just start at the beginning and work our way through shot by shot, talking about Easter eggs, WTF moments, and a couple of comic book changes that I think are confirmed based on theories that we see in some of this new footage. We get the first shot of Omni-Man coming to Earth with Alan the alien talking to Mark first, requesting his help. This is actually an important detail. Notice he doesn't order him to come with them to fight the Viltrumites. He's asking for his help and saying, if he doesn't want to help, like I understand if you don't want to do this, which is something that he would not have done before the last couple of seasons. All to show you how much he has grown as a person in the last couple of years. We get a little bit of voiceover of Debbie, cut with a montage of different scenes. She says, Nolan stole my life, basically saying that her life with Nolan was a lie because he was lying to her this whole time about who he was, what he was doing, why he was on Earth in the first place. But at the beginning of the montage here of her voiceover dialogue, you see a flashback scene of younger Debbie and younger Omni-Man. It kind of seems like it's before Mark was born, when they were still dating, or maybe they had just gotten married.
The Immortal sent you here because he's your friend.
They use this scene of them at dinner as a parallel for her at dinner with everybody in present day, and notice that it's Korean food too. There are a lot of people that are going crazy about this because they're a Korean family, technically, like Debbie is Korean, so Mark is part Korean, but even though there have been a number of dinner scenes in previous seasons, they've never actually had a real Korean dinner. Notice everybody seems really happy, Debbie seems really happy, Oliver happy, Mark happy, Adam Eve is happy, although she's still got that thing on the side with the whole baby. Obviously that's like brewing in the background. Based on the progression, it sounds like this happens after Omni-Man shows up and gives his pitch to Mark about coming to fight in the Viltrumite War with the Coalition of Planets. Then there are a bunch more Season 1 flashback scenes to that finale with Debbie talking about what Omni-Man did to her, like that tragedy of the end of Season 1. These are all the moments when he came clean about his true purpose on Earth and what Mark was supposed to do, like his actual true mission, and how he thought of Debbie as just a pet. When he comes back and tries to make amends with Debbie, tries to apologize to her, he does try to explain that he didn't mean what he said, and I think that's true, because when he was in the Viltrumite prison, he said, I think I miss my wife, like he genuinely actually missed her. So if it wasn't clear, the end of Season 1 was more of his overriding sense of duty to the Viltrumites in Thragg, his mission just overpowering his own good sense. What happened over the last couple of seasons, or the last couple of years since then, is that he's slowly realized his own desires and wants and like his own heart. Like he's listening to his heart now, less his head, and less of his duty to the Viltrumites. Then we actually see the scene of him in the house with Debbie and her just trying to deal with him being back. The actual title of the episode is Give Us a Moment, which is a reference to Omni-Man wanting a moment alone with Debbie and telling Mark and Oliver to just like leave the room for a little bit so they can actually have this conversation by themselves. All the scenes of their reunion here are directly taken from the comic book. What the TV show has done, though, has just made Debbie's character way more prominent across all the seasons because they have so much extra time. Like it's an hour-long episode instead of like a half hour of animation like you would traditionally get from an animated show. Then we get what seems like another scene of her talking to Mark and Oliver before they leave the planet to join the Coalition of Planets team to fight in the Viltrumite War. And she says, now he's going to steal you too. So it sounds like something later that night, she's talking to Mark and she's just worried what's going to happen to him in this big war. There's actually been a meme going around the last couple of days trying to show the difference between Invincible fans and fans of other superhero genres around big, powerful characters, in that Invincible is different because you always kind of wonder whether or not he's going to be able to survive his next fight because he's always getting his ass handed to him by other big villains that come along. And now we have Conquest coming back, who is going to try to wreck him again. And you remember, Conquest had him dead to rights the last time they fought. It was only because Adam Eve was there to help him that he was able to finally take him down.
The boy left me alive. Oh, stupid.
And this is basically what we're seeing at the end of this trailer here, is Conquest showing up to destroy their ship on the mission sent by Thragg as punishment for failing to kill Mark the first time. So one of the real questions heading into this episode, in the next couple of episodes, is has Mark gotten strong enough to defeat Conquest? Was he strong enough before? Like, how much has he leveled up in the last couple of episodes? There have been a couple criticisms of the Invincible TV show and the way they sort of display his leveling up across the seasons, but there have been a couple seasons where they did try to show him, like at the beginning of season 2, the beginning of season 3, where he was like really trying to actually work out to level himself up. One of the cool things about Viltrumites is that on a basic level, their biology functions just like a normal bodybuilder. Like, the more you lift weights, the stronger you get. But because Viltrumites are functionally immortal, like they'll just continue living and their aging slows as they get older, they can just continue training and continue getting more and more powerful, stronger and stronger. So the whole idea is that it's actually relatively easy for them to level up as long as they continue training, continue fighting on a regular basis. It's one of the reasons why Thragg is so much more powerful than all other Viltrumites in the universe right now. Way more powerful than Omni-Man, and Omni-Man is still way more powerful than Mark right now too. Then we get another new scene of Tech Jacket, who is fighting the Walking Dread. He's a member of the Circle, Titan's evil organization. His name obviously a pun on The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman's other more well-known series that was also adapted into a TV series. They're making Walking Dead movies at one point. We'll see how that all goes. Welcome to the Robert Kirkman cinematic universe. There was also a Walking Dead universe Easter egg during the Angstrom Levy storyline in a previous season too. So technically he's already canonized the Walking Dead to the Invincible universe through the multiverse. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Robert Kirkman had all kinds of crazy crossovers in the original Invincible comics, like Spawn crossed over, Savage Dragon crossed over, Spider-Man from Marvel crossed over. It's like the Marvel universe is canon to the Invincible universe. It's just that it's much harder to do that on an actual TV show because of the rights issues. Lawyers ruin a lot of stuff, so that's why we're not seeing as many cool crossovers that were in the actual comics. This is also the reason why they had to change their Spider-Man crossover during the Invincible War from what it was during the original comics. But it was still Josh Keating who actually did the voiceover, who was a version of Spider-Man. So like kind of Spider-Man, but not a real Spider-Man crossover.
Talk about your bad luck, Prof. Ock. Oh.
The whole reason why we're seeing Tech Jacket now is because the Geldarians told Omni-Man and Alan the Alien that they couldn't help because their race was still recovering from Viltrumite attacks from their Viltrumite war, but there was a person on Earth who could help them, and they're already on Earth to go get Mark and Oliver's help too. If you have not read the comics before, Tech Jacket is basically like the Invincible version of Blue Beetle because of the way the suit works. Based on a couple of these new shots, though, it does seem like they have changed Tech Jacket from Zach Thompson to Zoe Thompson, and it will be a female character. It was reported a while ago that the voiceover actress would be Zoe Deutsch. I don't know how she wound up becoming the voiceover actress for the character, if she's a fan of the Invincible TV show or the comics, or it was like a friend of a friend situation, or she was working on some other project with Robert Kirkman. Maybe it is just because Robert Kirkman is such a Back to the Future fan and her mother is Leah Thompson from Back to the Future, and obviously a billion other things too. But because of the suit, Tech Jacket is a really, really powerful character. There are a couple things they might wind up changing about the character later on too, because there are a lot of gender-based jokes, like jokes that depend on him being male in the comic, so they either will probably rewrite those or just omit them completely or just do completely new jokes. Then we get a scene after the team has left the planet and they're on the Venture again, that parody of the Starship Enterprise with their crew from Next Gen, or based on Next Gen. You remember that Telia helped mutiny with the rest of the crew, so that's why she is the new captain of the ship. We get a couple scenes of Omni-Man reuniting with Oliver, having a little bit of a father-son chat with him by themselves, and then him bonding with Alan the alien. There's a little bit of voiceover dialogue from Mark, and it sounds like it's before they've left the planet and when he's probably still talking to Debbie, saying that they have a chance to stop the Viltrumites for good, so that's why he's willing to go like, okay, if this is going to solve the problem forever, then I need to go help. But while this is happening, you notice that their spaceship is literally just blown apart with this little escape shuttle flying away, like barely escaping. All the superpowered members of the team are in space just reacting to the surprise, like, oh, what just happened? And then all of a sudden, in the background, you can see, like from the reverse shot, the Conquest hands coming around in frame. And just imagine that diabolical smile on his face. Stand ready for his re-arrival, worms. And we get a little bit of his voiceover reaction too. There's no way, like he is surprised to see Conquest is back. All because Cecil failed to tell him that Conquest escaped back during a previous episode.
Are you going to tell him about Conquest?
After the kid just killed someone? If you want my job that badly, Donald, just ask.
So you have to remember, when this happens, Mark still thought that Conquest was being held captive by the GDA and Cecil. He has no idea that he escaped, went back to Thragg, and then Thragg set him to the task of killing all the members of this coalition team. That's basically what he's here for. Kill every member of the team, not just Mark. It is going to be so wonderfully messed up the next couple of weeks, so if there's any Easter eggs or references that you spotted in the footage that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. What I'll do is my full episode 5 video will post later this week after they release it, and the really big reminder is that there are 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again back to back, so I'll just be doing 1 episode video for that as well. So whole bunch of stuff happening this week. Make sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that. Everybody click here for that Invincible video. I'll update the link as soon as I post that, and click here for all my Daredevil Born Again episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.